Hello and welcome to Most Clicked. I'm your host, Nathan from Smile, and I'm joined this week by Kyle, the education marketer. Every week I seem to be tripping over that worse and worse each week, Um, Kyle, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Just me and you this week, innit? Matt's having problems with his internet again.
Just the two of us. We'll have to change the theme tune. This week we are talking about a very cool thing from LSE, aren't we, Kyle?
Yeah, good stuff coming out of this uni. In addition to its world-leading research, obviously, there's some good marketing in here as well. So the piece I'm looking at is how they actually package up the research. It's called Research for the World, which is nice
Right.
and succinct. And the thing that pulled me into this, I'm always interested what universities do with content hubs. I think every university now has something like this, where they put together a lot of stories which are based on like, research or whatever the themes are, and they pull it into a decent publication looking piece. And LSE have done a really good job with this. You can organise content by categories, and they've got a nice sort of trending section at the top, and they can talk about the actual researchers themselves. There's a lot going on here. It's well thought out. There's a range of different mediums going on as well. But the thing that maybe highlight it, and what I think sets it apart from a lot of different content hubs is it has a decent social strategy to go with it. And quite often on their social feeds, I see them take a piece or a long form piece from this hub, and they repurpose it across platforms in a meaningful way for the channel in which they're publishing. So I read a piece recently, and there was a video on there talking about the topic was under discussion, and they took that video, essentially wrote a decent length text post to explain it in LinkedIn, and as a result, it's getting lots of traction. And if you want to compare that, it helps you understand where the value are in different channels, because they did the same thing with the same video and just published it on YouTube, and it's hardly got any views. So what they do is they work out which channel is going to work best for it, and they really lean into that. And for me, I think this is like a big opportunity for unis, and I know we all kind of publish stuff and we highlight stories all the time, but I think taking these long form pieces and actually chopping them up and like repurposing them across the channels that they're appropriate for, it's certainly a way to unlock this otherwise quite unwieldy content. There's always a risk that it sits on these hubs and it just doesn't get seen. So I know, Nate, you've had a few experiences setting these things up too. I don't know what you thought about this.
I like it. It reminds me of some other bits and bobs that I've seen throughout the years. The most notable one that I can remember is one from Boston University. It's called the Bostonia, and I think the Bostonia harks back to conversations we've had, Kyle, on previous episodes. Just keep turning up. It's about cadence and consistency, and I think they've been going since. Well, I did a quick look, and the earliest issue I could find was 2018, but I'm sure I saw it before that. But it's been going for a good 4 years, so they've been really good in terms of keep churning this stuff out, and it's developed over the years. But my question to you, Kyle, around the LSE one, I feel it's a common question that I ask you whenever I see your newsletter. It's like, oh, how did you come across this? And I'm particularly interested in terms of a content hub piece because of what you said about how the disconnected nature that these can have sometimes. And it's all very well and good doing these, but you've still got to kind of get people to them. And I do a lot of talking about microsites and how they need to be connected within flagship digital estates and stuff like that. So I'm really interested to know, how did you find this?
I discovered it via LinkedIn, and I think that speaks volumes, doesn't it? And I definitely feel that in HE now there does seem to be a lot of talk around discovery, and I think a lot of that's been brought about by TikTok, and how people are literally discovering all kinds of content they didn't know they needed via that For You feed.
It's a good point.
Yeah,
I think I've slipped into one of my own like cardinal sins there, assuming that everybody finds it via the flagship website, right? And that's not necessarily the case because I imagine. Well, no, I don't imagine. I know that one of the important things for a content hub like this is the SEO benefit
mm,
of
mm.
that, and bringing in an audience via content rather than somebody searching LSE
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Google. You know.
yeah, and there's a balance. I was having this conversation earlier with someone actually. Like, there's a balance between having content serve that the needs of discovery
Mm,
versus that of intent. And I think over the years, definitely over the last 10 years, marketers have considerably optimized content activities to serve intent, i.e., they're
mm.
capturing demand, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas now the pivot was almost swinging in maybe not swinging the other direction, but there's definitely much more attention being paid to being discoverable and
Yeah.
turning up regularly and having that awareness. So when the customer or the student is ready to make the decision, they think of you first, and that's when intent kicks in. But we haven't really been paying a lot of attention to that wider discovery piece, and I do feel like
Mm.
publishing natively in social channels and doing so regularly really aids with that, because if you're the one who's turns up and provides something meaningful time and time again, it's going to be you who someone first thinks of when they are ready to buy and have that moment of intent.
Well, I guess though, I know so many universities that have wanted to go down this route. That so
Mm,
many universities have said, "Oh, we've got all these stories to tell, and we don't have the platform to tell them." And
yeah.
I also know a lot of those universities never end up actually like making it with it. And I think that as good as LSE and Bostonia's it is, there's something quite intimidating about
Mm.
them for the sector. So I always try and say what are the takeaways from today's episode and stuff. And I guess like how do you break it down? How do you start one of these? Because it is so intimidating to go, oh well, the Bostonia's got 4 years worth of content on us. How can we possibly ever compete with that? But it is down to cadence. It is down to turning up on a regular basis and going through with it. But as a writer, Kyle, do you have any other top tips for how to get started?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's usually built around your objective and the window in which that can be delivered. So with content specifically, and when you're talking about finding a niche and then becoming discoverable for a topic,
Mm,
I tend to first identify what topic you want to be discovered for, link it with a business objective, but then critically have that period of time in which you intend to achieve that. Because if you're running a campaign, and this is why I say that if you're in content marketing, you shouldn't be running campaigns, because campaigns are kind of like a short-term sort of solution for marketing, if you like. They're focused activity.
mm,
With content marketing, it's much more initiative based, so it's a real long tail.
mm,
So if you're looking to build your topical niche, you're looking at 18 months, people. It takes time, and I think that's the first thing I bear in mind. And then after that time, you look holistically at the objective. So if your objective is to increase enrollment in a certain subject, just for the sake of argument here, you look at that over a period of 18 months. You don't look at it in the context of, did this piece of content drive me one enrollment? Because you're never going to get a good answer from that. It's
mm.
always the collective effort of a content marketing strategy
Yeah.
that pays the dividends. It's never one piece of content. And I joke, I say, look, the content I published, if I looked at any piece in isolation, it would always be a failure. I would have
Mm,
given up
mm,
years ago.
mm,
But because you look at it all together, I'm doing is working. So
mm.
it's the macro view of content marketing. It's never the micro.
It's a really, really good point. I know that there's a number of services out there. Shorthand, there's a SaaS product thing called called Shorthand. Very cool. And it kind of majors on being able to create these long form story posts. A bit like everybody has always seen the BBC versions of them with the kind of parallax scrolling stuff. And I've seen a few universities have started to adopt that. And I do think that it's actually got like a magazine view, builds a kind of blog out of it. But often what I see at least is a few key investments and then just kind of left to rot. And that seems so prevalent throughout a lot of university marketing things. You get like 3 or 4 halo pieces, and then for whatever reason it just dies off. I'd love to see I'd love to see more stuff like LSE, actually, because I feel like I'm talking more about what other people are doing and not what LSE are doing. And LSE are doing a great job with what they've put together here.
You're absolutely right, and I want to pick up on your point there of good projects starting with great intentions and then not being picked up. And I think in the same issue actually, I covered a couple of podcasts, and one was from Liverpool, and I think it's the Liverpool Welcome series, right?
Yeah.
Production values. Awesome. It's such a good podcast. I listen to marketing podcasts that aren't as good as this one, right? And I get it. It's a limited series, and that's fine for students starting university. But I'm listening to the talent of the host. I'm listening to how she's interviewing people, the topics on the discussion, the production value, and I'm thinking, I can't get my head around it. Why stop? If you just carried on doing this, you could have built something so cool and sponsorship worthy as well, in my opinion.
I'm so glad you brought up that, because I remember reading that. I was like, oh yeah, it's so cool. And I'd had this kind of, not light bulb moment, but in like series, I don't know why, particularly in the podcast world, universities aren't taking advantage of series and like do 6 episodes and then kind of like reboot or reset and do another 6 episodes, like put the investment there, prove that it works, and then almost like go back to the VC for the next season sort of thing and say, this worked, let's do it again, let's roll that out. And that's actually something that the Bostonia does really well as well, is that it's an online magazine, but it doesn't use any of the horrible things like those flippy PDFs or anything, but it does take some of the notions of a magazine. So it has the notion of, like, I think it's volumes or series or something like that. And so it produces a number of articles in a set period and then kind of snapshots that, and that landlocks it. And it's like, okay, let's do that again. So it doesn't feel like, I think with a blog, I've never seen a university blog done fantastically, because that feels like this almost a treadmill effect where it's just constantly ongoing and never change, where the whole series kind of categorization allows you to do that little bit of a reset or a reboot each time and go, oh, we're going to tackle a slightly different theme this time. So I mean, you was it Liverpool you said it was, the
Liverpool
podcast?
Yeah.
It'd be awesome if they could like go, okay, yeah, season 2 coming this autumn.
Different topic, but same media, same area, and just keep it going. I mean, I've seen university podcasts, this one from Wabash Uni in the States, and that's been going for 13 years.
Wow.
I think it's something like that, something ridiculous. And funnily enough, the director behind that has a background in media publishing, so they get it. So yeah, it is possible. But yeah, no, I really hope we start to see more stuff like this in the space.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we've done everything we set out to achieve here, Kyle, including takeaways. How amazing. Well, to everybody watching at home, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please do consider subscribing or drop us a like. Thank you very much. See you next week.